7 attitudes of people who use you and don't care about you. In our daily lives, we inevitably encounter people who only use us as a tool to achieve their own personal goals, without truly caring about our feelings or well-being. Stoicism, with its philosophy of developing equanimity and self-control in all situations, provides us with insight into how to recognize and deal with these unhealthy relationships. By understanding the 7 attitudes of people who use you and don't care about you, we can equip ourselves with the ability to distinguish and protect ourselves from exploitation. These attitudes include hypocrisy in communication, taking advantage of trust, lack of empathy, emotional manipulation, ignoring the needs of others, lack of responsibility in relationships, and focusing only on self-interest. Through the lens of Stoicism, we learn to hold on to our self-worth, not letting the negative behavior of others affect our inner peace and happiness. 1. When giving drained Stoic insights on unbalanced relationships. One-sided effort in relationships, a scenario many of us recognize all too well, often reveals itself in quiet but draining ways. We find ourselves being the ones who always reach out, lend support, and initiate conversations. Over time, this imbalance begins to weigh on us, leaving a sense of unappreciation and emotional depletion. It's as if you're rowing the boat alone while the other person simply goes along for the ride. This brings to mind Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, who wisely observed, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Sometimes we tolerate these imbalances out of fear of losing the relationship altogether, even when it harms us more than it helps. One-sided effort is an unmistakable indicator of an unbalanced relationship. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once reflected, "Never esteem anything as of advantage to you that will make you break your word or lose your self-respect." This sentiment is especially relevant when considering the dynamics of one-sided relationships. If maintaining a relationship requires sacrificing your values, dignity, or peace of mind, then it's worth questioning its place in your life. In these types of relationships, you're often the one planning outings, starting conversations, and excusing the other's lack of involvement. Constantly giving without receiving can lead to a build-up of resentment and a lingering sense of loneliness, even if, technically, you're not alone. Epictetus, another revered Greek philosopher, put it simply, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." In one-sided dynamics, you might find yourself speaking far more than the other person engages or listens. Western psychology identifies this imbalance as a source of potential emotional strain. Healthy relationships require mutual effort and reciprocity. Without this balance, a relationship can feel more like a burden than a source of joy and support. Recognizing your own worth and refusing to settle for relationships that make you feel undervalued is essential. Navigating such challenging emotional waters requires keeping your mental health and self-respect at the forefront. Recognizing and addressing one-sided effort is a crucial step toward cultivating healthier and more fulfilling connections. 2. The price of selective presence, a Stoic approach to balanced relationships. Selective presence in relationships is a revealing indicator of skewed dynamics. Many of us have been in situations where a friend or loved one readily accepts support but is rarely there when it's their turn to give. This type of relationship echoes the wisdom of Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, who observed, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." However, in cases of selective presence, this opportunity seems to flow only one way. Such behavior reflects a relationship where convenience overshadows genuine care and reciprocity. When someone is only present in your life when it suits them, it signals a lack of commitment and sincere interest. Marcus Aurelius, a prominent Stoic figure, once said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This perspective is particularly useful here, underscoring that your response to selective presence is crucial. Recognizing your worth and refusing to be treated as an option rather than a priority is a step toward personal integrity. Selective presence goes beyond physical absence, it extends to emotional availability. When you're always the one offering a listening ear or a comforting shoulder but find the support lacking when you need it, it's a clear indicator of imbalance. This absence of reciprocity often leads to feelings of loneliness and disappointment. Epictetus's words are relevant here. We have two ears and one mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. In a balanced relationship, this applies to both parties. Yet in those marked by selective presence, you may find yourself doing most of the listening. From a Western psychological perspective, mutual social support is fundamental to healthy relationships. The concept of reciprocity is deeply ingrained in human social interactions, vital for fostering trust and emotional security. When reciprocity is missing, it often results in emotional strain and diminished self-esteem. Recognizing when you're part of such a dynamic and taking steps to address it is essential. This may involve open communication about your needs and feelings, setting boundaries, or re-evaluating the relationship entirely. As you navigate these challenging situations, remember the words of Marcus Aurelius: "The best revenge is to be unlike the one who performed the injustice." In other words, rather than responding with bitterness or mirroring their selective presence, strive to hold true to your values and seek relationships that offer balance and genuine fulfillment. 3. The illusion of connection, a Stoic take on sincere interest in relationships. A lack of sincere interest in a relationship cuts deep, challenging the foundation of genuine human connection. True friendship or relationship thrives on mutual curiosity, each person invested in the other's life, feelings, and experiences. This is fundamentally different from relationships where one party shows little to no concern for the other's world. Aristotle might interpret such a relationship as failing to embody true friendship, which he argued relies on mutual admiration and shared virtues. When we observe this kind of disinterest, it becomes clear that the relationship leans toward a transactional nature rather than an authentic bond. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, might have pointed to this imbalance as evidence of a hollow connection, urging that relationships should never revolve solely around what one person can gain from the other. Instead, they should rest on mutual respect and shared benefit. If someone shows little regard for your personal growth, aspirations, or struggles, they are likely neglecting the empathy and attentiveness essential to a meaningful connection. In reflecting on this dynamic, we might also consider Plato's philosophy. For Plato, true friendship is an ideal, a pure and profound understanding between individuals. A relationship lacking in sincere interest strays far from this ideal, becoming merely a shadow of what it could be. This absence of depth can lead to a sense of isolation and insignificance, as it goes against our inherent need for connection and understanding. Swiss psychologist Carl Jung highlighted the significance of meaningful human connections in personal growth and self-awareness. He recognized that genuine connections are vital to our psychological well-being. When a relationship lacks authentic interest, it can create a sense of emotional detachment, conflicting with our need for shared understanding. This type of disconnect speaks directly to the Stoic focus on what we can control. Epictetus taught that we should concentrate on what lies within our power and release our hold on what does not. In relationships, this perspective suggests recognizing when a lack of genuine interest is present and understanding that we cannot force someone to care. Rather than trying to ignite empathy where it does not naturally arise, we might instead focus on cultivating relationships that offer enrichment and mutual support. Socrates, known for his profound questioning, would likely encourage us to examine the foundation of our relationships. Are they based on mutual respect and care, or are they tilted towards a one-sided exchange? Such introspection is essential in navigating towards relationships that are balanced and fulfilling. By assessing whether our connections hold genuine interest, we create the space to foster healthier, more meaningful bonds. When relationships fall short of this sincerity, it is a reminder to focus on the people and connections that truly enrich our lives. 4. Guarding inner peace. Stoic wisdom on emotional manipulation. Emotional manipulation is a profound concern in any relationship. It occurs when someone subtly or overtly leverages guilt, emotional pressure, or coercive tactics to steer another's actions. This form of manipulation is particularly insidious because it exploits the victim's compassion and empathy, often leading them to question their own feelings and motivations. Stoic philosophy, especially Epictetus' teachings, offers a valuable framework for understanding such behavior. Epictetus taught that while we cannot control external events, we can govern our responses to them. In the context of emotional manipulation, this means identifying manipulation for what it is and choosing not to let it dictate our actions or erode our self-worth. Marcus Aurelius, another Stoic philosopher, emphasized the importance of acting in accordance with one's nature and reason. When confronted with emotional manipulation, it is crucial to remain grounded and resist being swept into someone's attempts to exploit your emotions. Aurelius might have urged us to maintain integrity, refusing to let others disturb our inner peace. Seneca, a contemporary of Aurelius, often spoke about the tranquility of the mind. He would likely have regarded emotional manipulation as a direct threat to this tranquility of force that disrupts our internal harmony and clarity. From his perspective, recognizing and resisting emotional manipulation is essential to safeguarding our mental and emotional equilibrium. Western psychology echoes these sentiments, recognizing that emotional manipulation can severely impact an individual's mental health, leading to anxiety, low self-esteem, and even depression. Carl Jung, a pioneering psychologist, emphasized the importance of individuation, the process of understanding and integrating oneself. In situations involving emotional manipulation, this means recognizing manipulation as it occurs and reasserting one's own thoughts, emotions, and values. Aristotle's concept of phronesis, or practical wisdom, is also relevant here. This virtue involves not only understanding what constitutes a desirable state, but also thinking carefully about how to achieve it. In cases of emotional manipulation, practical wisdom entails perceiving manipulation for what it is and determining the best way to respond or withdraw from the situation. Plato might have viewed emotional manipulation as a corruption of the soul, a force that distorts truth and reality. Throughout his dialogues, he explored ideas of justice and truth, and he likely would have seen emotional manipulation as antithetical to these ideals. 5 Boundaries ignored a Stoic guide to self-respect in relationships. One of the clearest indicators of an unhealthy relationship is the disregard for personal boundaries when one person consistently crosses or ignores the limits set by the other. This lack of respect can show up in numerous ways: frequent last-minute changes in plans, expecting constant availability, or neglecting your needs and preferences. These behaviors are not just disrespectful, but also undermine the foundation of any healthy relationship. In the realm of Stoic philosophy, Marcus Aurelius offers a vital perspective on this issue. He emphasized the importance of respecting both oneself and others, seeing dignity as a core principle of individual character. From his viewpoint, allowing someone to repeatedly violate your boundaries is inconsistent with preserving self-respect and personal integrity. Similarly, Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, wrote on the balance between self-preservation and the obligations we owe to others. He might well have viewed boundary disrespect as a breach of this essential balance. In healthy relationships, mutual respect for each other's time, space, and individuality is crucial. When these elements are regularly disregarded, the relationship becomes one-sided and harmful. Epictetus, well known for his teachings on managing our responses and actions, would likely advise those facing such challenges to remember that they control their own boundaries and responses. He would encourage individuals to assert and maintain their boundaries firmly, reminding them that while we cannot control the actions of others, we can control our reactions and maintain our personal limits. From a psychological perspective, Carl Jung's concept of individuation, understanding and integrating the various aspects of oneself ties closely to respecting and asserting personal boundaries. Let's constantly overlook boundaries can hinder personal growth and lead to frustration and a gradual loss of identity. Aristotle's golden mean, a desirable balance between extremes, also applies well to the notion of boundaries in any relationship. There should be a balance between flexibility and firmness. When boundaries are entirely disregarded, this balance is lost, leading to an unhealthy dynamic. In every relationship, maintaining one's boundaries is not only a form of self-respect, but a key to personal development and relational health. Recognizing when boundaries are ignored and taking steps to reassert them can transform both your relationship and your understanding of yourself. 6. Beyond the surface. Stoic reflections on superficial connections. In relationships marked by superficiality, interactions often lack depth and emotional engagement, skimming the surface rather than building true connection. Even after spending considerable time together, the individuals involved fail to reach any profound or meaningful understanding of each other. From a Stoic perspective, Epictetus would likely stress the necessity of sincerity in our connections, seeing genuine relationships as aligned with the Stoic commitment to truth and authenticity. When relationships remain shallow, they contradict Stoic ideals, bypassing the profound bonds that bring meaning to our lives. Marcus Aurelius, another eminent Stoic philosopher, often spoke about the depth and importance of genuine human companionship. He would likely view superficial connections as missed opportunities for fostering mutual growth and understanding. For Aurelius, a meaningful relationship should challenge and enrich both individuals, urging them to strive for more than mere pleasantries. Such connections, in his view, would contribute not only to personal development, but also to a deeper appreciation of shared values. Seneca, celebrated for his insights into human nature, might interpret shallow connections as indicative of a lack of commitment to self-improvement and the improvement of others. To Seneca, relationships should be conduits for mutual enrichment, a means to elevate oneself and make a positive impact on those around us. A relationship that stays on the surface fails to meet this purpose, and therefore lacks the qualities that Seneca held in high regard. The concept of friendship in Western philosophy, particularly in Aristotle's work, contrasts sharply with superficial connections. Aristotle believed that the highest form of friendship is based on mutual admiration of each other's virtues, rather than fleeting pleasure or utility. Shallow relationships, with their lack of depth, do not meet Aristotle's standard for genuine friendship, which thrives on respect and a shared appreciation of virtue. Plato might conceptualize superficial connections as relationships that fall short of accessing the realm of forms. In his view, the highest, truest reality involves a quest to understand the essential nature of the individuals involved. Relationships that do not strive for this deeper understanding are limited and unsatisfying, failing to fulfill their potential as Plato saw it. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychologist, emphasized the importance of deep, meaningful connections in his theory of individuation, the process of self-realization. Jung would likely see superficial relationships as obstacles to this journey of self-discovery, as they lack the meaningful exchanges necessary for individuals to understand and integrate various aspects of their personalities. In a world where shallow connections often abound, Stoic philosophy reminds us to seek relationships that resonate with authenticity and depth. Through meaningful connections, we not only grow closer to others, but also embark on a journey toward understanding ourselves. Recognizing the limitations of superficial relationships allows us to aspire to connections that challenge, enrich, and contribute to a well-lived life. 7 True Bonds, a Stoic reflection on friendship through adversity. One of the clearest signs of a strained relationship is the unmistakable absence of a friend or partner during difficult times. Genuine friendships and relationships are tested and proven not in convenient moments but in the face of hardship and adversity. When a friend or partner is conspicuously absent during your struggles, it speaks volumes about their investment and commitment to the relationship. Stoic philosophy, with its emphasis on virtue, resilience, and the nature of human connections, offers valuable insights here. Epictetus, a prominent Stoic philosopher, placed high importance on enduring hardship with composure and grace. Yet he also acknowledged the value of support and companionship when navigating life's challenges. In the context of a friend's absence during times of need, Epictetus might remind us, while we cannot control the actions of others, we can control our response, including re-evaluating the relationship and seeking support elsewhere. This reflection aligns with the Stoic belief in self-reliance, but also points to the reality that authentic companionship includes a willingness to stand by each other through hardship. Marcus Aurelius, famous for his meditations on life and duty, would likely view a friend's absence during hard times as a failure in their role. Relationships built on Stoic values, particularly friendship, are not a one-sided commitment. A friend who is absent when you seek support is not fulfilling their part in the mutual exchange that friendship entails. Seneca, another Stoic who saw enduring hardship as an inevitable part of life, might observe that facing these difficulties alone, especially when support has been sought, exposes a lack of genuine care and solidarity within the relationship. In Western philosophy, Aristotle's concept of friendship centers on mutual goodwill and shared values. According to Aristotle, a friend who is absent during your struggles does not meet the criteria for true friendship. He believed that friendships based merely on utility or pleasure hold less intrinsic value. The absence of a friend in times of adversity damages the connection, depriving an individual of the emotional support and understanding necessary to overcome personal challenges. As we reflect on the journey of friendship, let us remember that the true value of your relationships is not measured by the ease of shared moments, but by the presence and support felt in life's most testing times. You deserve connections that are as deep and sincere as your own commitment and empathy.